third day. You see already that either the topic is not interesting or you see that on Friday some people have left already. My name is Tobias, I'm working for OBS Solutions. We are gold partner in Germany, and on that solution, actually we provide solutions based on Odoo, of course, and for that solution we have been working together with the company Factoring Pool, which is a large factoring broker, which has the know-how and of course the network to provide this kind of solution. And yeah, I mean, when you see at the picture, probably you recognize a bit what can happen if you go as an SME to a bank or as a founder to a bank and ask for a loan, ask for credit. Very often you have problems, you have troubles, or you need to provide collateral or whatsoever. So I think with factoring, and we call it modular factoring, we have here a solution where you can generate cash flow and optimize your liquidity position. Yeah, and I'd like to show you how we think that should work. Yeah, starting, I mean, what are we going to see? I will give you a brief overview on what we understand under modular factoring in general, which benefits come with it, and afterwards we have an example calculation, so you see a little bit on a real example actually on yeah, what benefit this customer has in the end. Then we go further and I present you how it works, so in Odoo, and how we communicate and so on. And later on we make a summary with a general procedure, so how we would like to approach that. And of course I'm very, very happy to answer your questions later. Yeah, how we think you can optimize your cash and liquidity position. We think in two ways actually. On the one hand side, we have a tool called factoring. On the other side, it's called Finetrading. So with factoring, actually, you get the invoices paid immediately after you validate them. So you validate an invoice, and 24 hours later, the cash is on the account. That is the side of the customers, and the Finetrading is actually the other side, coming from the suppliers. So there's a pre-finance method to pre-finance your purchases, your stock. Depending a bit on your business, it could be that you have quite a long time between supplier payment and customer payment. So and that is then supported by either factoring or Finetrading. Yeah, and there's of course a few benefits that come with this in general. You increase liquidity constantly. Yeah, it's not that there's a one-time injection. It's constantly you increase your liquidity, and this all without the bank standard collateral. So you can do it in addition to a bank finance or instead of the bank financing. And of course, you don't have to deliver your whatever assets or whatsoever. You will shorten your balance sheet, so there is improve your balance sheet rating because the receivables will be lower. So you need less money on the other side, either it's your money or loans from the bank. And with this flexibility, you are going to increase competitiveness and eventually grow, because with the more money you have on your account, you can of course invest it or you can play with it. You have more flexibility. And the nice thing with factoring is actually that if you grow your sales, your benefits from factoring grow with it. Because imagine you increase your invoices from, I don't know, 400,000 a month to 600,000. You increase your sales. At the same time, you increase, of course, as well your cash flow, because it's generally directly effective on your account. With your suppliers as well as with your clients, you have higher flexibility in discussing payment terms. So you could tell your customers, look, I give you a longer payment term, therefore we have to increase the price, or vice versa on the supplier side. You could say, look, now I have to make it right. We could decrease the payment term, and increase the decrease the price. And however, now I had a few beers yesterday, so I'm like familiar yesterday actually. No, just to you have the flexibility, play with the payment terms and with the discounts. Yeah, and the last two things is important as well. Your debtor management will, of course, be either fully taken away or at least far easier because the factor is taking care of a few steps. And that could go until full factoring, where you even have a security for a loss of accounts receivables. Imagine a client is going bankrupt and it's secured. And within factoring, there's many variants on how far you can go from full factoring to various other steps. Yeah, coming to an example calculation here. On the left side, you see, I mean, this is a bit in general, but it's based on a real example. So you have a cash in of about 400,000, and imagine this cash in 400,000 that is for invoices you issued like a period or 2 periods before. So not directly, and you have a cash out on whatever products you buy, and we have made this example on factoring. So you have then a cash flow in general around 20,000 in that example. So you could, with factoring, you could increase that by, if you would put everything on factoring, you would increase it immediately by 360,000. So in total you have then 380,000 you can play with instead of 20,000. Yeah, and this, of course, this 380,000 you could put then into new investments, into whatever you think makes your business growing. And if we have here on the low corner, we have an example of the conditions. If you look at the factoring fee, this is as well quite low for me at least. I'm not a factoring specialist, not yet. But I mean, when I looked at it, I thought, okay, it's very low. If I compare it, for example, in Germany we have Skonto. I don't know whether that is applicable in your country. It's actually, you tell your customers, okay, if you pay in 30 days, you get 2 or 3% off. Yeah, but still then you wait 1 month for the money and you give him 2-3%. And here we speak about 0.63%. Yeah, and as well the interest rate. If you compare the interest rate to an interest rate of a loan you ask from your bank, short-term loan or something, as well there is a difference. The interest rate, of course, depends on the general markets. Yeah, this should show you a little bit on in which direction it could go, depending, of course, on your business. Yeah, what did we do, or how does it work? So you see here we have created a view having the customer on that side, and then having here a few values like what was invoiced in the last 12 months, what are the payment terms set in your Odoo, and what are the real payment terms here. And of course we have to work later with the real payment terms, and they may differ a lot from your customer payment terms, depending on your business, depending on how tough you are in getting your customer payments. But often it's like you set it as a general 30 days, but in reality you get it later, like 40, 60 days. Then we have here total due at the time, and then here we have a factoring potential, which is calculated by taking the invoiced 12 months and the real payment terms. So this is your average factoring example. Factoring potential, sorry. You see here down how it's calculated. And when we go further, you can, on the left-hand side, you can select the customers you want to take into factoring. So you don't need to make factoring with all. You can select them. And here on the right-hand side, you can as well adapt the factoring potential. For example, you believe you made a new contract with a client and you believe the factoring potential in the future is higher, so you add 10% or 15%. Or vice versa, you have a client, you lost a client, or you lost a contract with a client or something, or and you can decrease it in order to have a good estimate for the next like 12 months. Yeah, if we now select these 3 as an example, and then you press the button calculate, then we show you here your total factoring potential. So considering all clients, then is your selection. And usually you have a direct payment rate of 90%, that's average. Could be a bit lower, could be a bit higher. So 90% of the invoice value goes directly on your account, and the 10% normally stays with the factor in terms of cover losses. It depends as well a bit on, of course, which factoring principle you use. Yeah, and here below, that figure is of course the most important. You see here on average, based on your settings before, you see on what you should have in your cash additionally in the next year in average. And then if you say, okay, look, this is, I would like to have an offer for that, you request a quotation and email is sent to us, to especially the factoring partner, and he will then create an 2-3 offers which make sense with a comparison, and you can then select whatever you like to do. Yeah, let's have a look on the workflow, how that works on the workflow. I mean, you are using Odoo, or your company, your clients use Odoo, so it's of course as well, it's very interesting for your clients maybe. We install the app, Modular Factoring, and then what I said already, you select the best opportunities. We get the information to provide to the factors, and then you get and we request then a quote from them. And the factoring pool is quite experienced, so with more than 20 years experience, they know a lot of people in the industry. And the factoring industry, as far as I understood, is very diverse. So there's factors for industries, for size of customers, for specific countries and so on. So it's a very diverse market. Therefore, we work here with more than 240 factors. And of course, we know based on your situation, on your business, on your size and so on, which factors make the most sense for you. Yeah, and then as said, you get normally 2-3 financing possibilities, and then you can select. Yeah, let's have a look on the general procedure. So what we think makes sense is we start with, if you are or if your client is interested in general, we start with a general profiling. So we have a look whether based on some figures, based as well on your industry and so on, whether it's suitable, whether it makes sense and so on in general. Cost-free, actually we have everything for cost-free in the beginning. That might change later if that picks up interest, and but for the first customer, definitely for free. Yeah, then we install the app and consult you on how to use it, how to improve your data management and so on. Of course, the functionality of the app, and then you can, whenever you think it's the right moment, you can select the opportunities you have in your business at the moment, and send it as said to us. You get a comparison, and later on, of course, you decide still whether that makes sense to you or not. And then what we usually do, or what the factoring pool usually is doing, they review twice a year the conditions. So twice a year we see whether there's any other factor in the market, and as far as I understood, the market is quite volatile, so it's changing a lot and the offers change a lot. So there's companies that want to go into a specific market, so they offer better conditions and so on and so forth. So therefore it makes sense to review the conditions 1 to 2 times per year and adapt it in case it makes sense. Yeah, that was actually the brief presentation about what we believe modular factoring is about, and how we think you can improve your liquidity and cash flow. And of course, I'm very happy to answer whatever question you have now, or of course as well later. There's my contact, and thank you very much for your attention. Yeah.
Just a small question. Your factoring, is that with or without recourse? Meaning if the customer is not paying, will the bank reveal back to you, or is that covered by insurance? Because that's changing tremendously your factoring rates you were indicating.
Yeah, that's true. That changing. That depends on what kind of factoring you choose. In the full factoring, it's in, but it's of course in a way that if, for example, the client goes bankrupt, then you are secured. But if you, of course, issue invoices, that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's illegal.
That's illegal. Yeah. No.
Illegal procedures.
Yeah. There are certain rules when the bank is taking. Actually, we work with alternative factoring partners mostly, not so much with banks. But with full factoring, that is as well included.
So that's without recourse. Meaning that if your customer is going bankrupt or falls into unliquidity,
in full factoring,
the bank will not reveal back to you by requesting the money.
Exactly. That's with the full factoring. I think we have it here somewhere. Here below. Yeah, with the full factoring, if you choose that method, then this is covered. And there's a variety of steps, yeah. So.
And your factoring cost, was that full factoring or?
Good question. Actually, I don't know. I don't know.
If it's full factoring, then it's not that expensive. But if it's purely,
I think it's a middle. I think it's a middle. You have something like no services, so you do the debtor management mainly still. So it's just you get cash, but you have to whatever call the client to get the payment and so on. Up to full factoring, I think it was something in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're interested, I can of course get this information back. It was done by our partner, not by me. Any further questions?
This module tied to your partner that provides the factoring. We're coming from Finland, so just thinking of business case that could I purchase the app and then find some Finnish factoring company to use that module with?
Generally, we can speak about that. What I forgot to say is actually for partners, we of course can work as well, based a little bit on the final pricing, on the commission, so that it's interesting for you to offer it to your clients, of course. That's the major lever. And I believe a bit different to the Odoo App Store sometimes. I believe that of course the partner who's proposing something has to get as well part of the deal. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Otherwise the partner is not interested. And I think that is a very good possibility for clients. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have a question. So, when do you expect to roll out this application for module?
By the end of the year, we believe we roll it out.
I have another question, if I may. So, are you familiar with this in-app purchase that Odoo is promoting?
Yeah.
So, would you agree that it's kind of simplified version of this?
Yeah.
Now, because I listened both of presentations, it's kind of similar thing, right?
Yeah, I saw it today as well. I knew that Odoo was is working on it because I said already before. I saw today as well this with the Odoo Bank, what they think for Odoo 13. Yeah, I mean I spoke to our partner about that, and he said that it's very difficult. The market is, I mean legally you need a bank concession, and legally it's not easy to get that as a company as Odoo, because the idea from Odoo is actually to finance from their cash flow. So without a partner, they want to finance from their cash flow. And a very good idea, but what I understood is it's very difficult to get the licenses. You need the licenses in each country. Some countries even have, in different parts of the country, have different requirements. And as well, I mean, after 2008, they have tremendously increased the requirements to get this bank license. So, I mean, if they are successful with that, very good. Our partners said they will not be, because it's so difficult to get this kind of license. Or they will be only in Belgium or only in a certain area, but not broad. So have a great day then, and thank you.